What's going on, everyone? It's Oscar here. Welcome back to Geoguessr Explained. Today, I'm joined by my friend Roscommon, aka Tommy. How's it going, Tommy?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Well, thank you. And so basically, I brought Tommy on today because Tommy is also playing a lot of Russia, and so when we get to the Russia part of the seeds, then hopefully he'll be able to bounce back some ideas with me and tell me what he thinks I'm going right or wrong with. But yeah, we'll go do some diverse world first here, and so let's check out what we got going on. First round here, I think the country is relatively straightforward, but let's take a look anyway. So we've got red dirt. It's relatively orangish. We've got these wooden poles. This is very useful for getting around here. White Google car as well, which appears to be set up for left-hand driving. Like, this is the back of the car with the brake light. So we're driving left here. And then we have these red and white signs, which you can find around the world. They're very common in southern Africa. They're also very common in, like, the Balkan, or like I would say Romania and Bulgaria use these quite a lot, and Turkey as well. That's probably the main countries where you see it a lot. But yeah, quite distinctive. And then that combined with the left-hand drive and these ones and the wooden poles should be like the Southern African region. Which country are you feeling more here, Tommy? Do you reckon?
I don't know. It's probably between like S1 just because
Hmm.
there's like pine trees and stuff and relatively flat. I don't really see bots that hard.
Yeah, yeah. So I would say it kind of does look a bit like Eswatini, but with the flatness, I would say it should just be
Yeah,
South Africa.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
Like Eswatini should at least be able to see some mountain in the distance in every single round, if not close, and we don't see any here. So yeah, definitely feeling
Yeah,
good about
agree.
South Africa. It should be kind of in the Pretoria region, but this is kind of difficult. I'm not really sure where I like the best. I think maybe Mpumalanga works the best here, but I could also see like northern KwaZulu, kind of northern Free State, or even south northwest. But yeah, I'll go over here, see where it actually is, and it was just yeah in that kind of region there,
Nice.
so makes
Nice.
sense. Okay, next one here. We are looking at something in North America. So this architecture with like the wooden panels, these double yellow lines, and right-hand drive with short number plates. That all adds up to North America. I would say it doesn't feel particularly cold, so I'm leaning US, but let's take a look around here. We have lack of front plates, which can fit for both countries for sure. Verizon, I assume they have Verizon in Canada as well. Do you know, Tommy?
I'm unsure. I'm not Canadian, but
Yeah, yeah. I would assume so though.
I'm sure. Probably.
Um, And okay, we got like American colors and an American flag. Nice. Okay, good that we could confirm that. Also, these ones like 95% US, so that's
Yeah,
also
I
good.
haven't seen them in Canada before.
We have like a bit of blue on the number plate here, but a bit of green over there. So I'm thinking of like maybe like Georgia or something like that. If we had a bit of green. Oh no, no, green. No, no, no. Green would be Florida because Georgia just has like the orange in the middle. So,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, green then. Just trying to think of states we could possibly be in. I don't think it's Florida because we're in too much of a hill, but that could be a Florida plate traveling. Um,
I
maybe
think I'd probably lean south here, just because
yeah,
like I think the road line gap is I think real,
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like that's generally southern states,
That's
northwest, but
that is something I haven't mentioned on this channel before. Is that the southern states as well as like Oregon and Washington commonly have these like very wide center lines, which have like probably almost double the gap that you'd normally see, and that's definitely what we have here. So yeah, definitely south makes sense, as well as the lack of front plates, which is also more of a southern thing. So I guess like with maybe a traveling Florida here and like a blue plate. My kind of thought might be like South Carolina, maybe North Carolina here, probably South Carolina.
yeah,
Although I'm not really sure how common wide lines are there, so maybe even just like something like Arkansas or Mississippi could work better. I'm not sure.
yeah, I probably agree with something like Mississippi or Georgia or something.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I might go Mississippi then. Anything else to say? No, I mean I'm sure this is distinctive, but I don't know it. And yeah, yeah, quite southern architecture. Let's just go for the guess here. Let's see what we're at. If we're at, and it was Louisiana. There we go. That's definitely a state that uses wide
Yeah,
lines quite a lot. Okay, next one here. We got some kind of a concrete road. Although the country here is actually really easy because we got the black car. So it appears a bit red around here, but it's like you can see there's kind of a black blur around it with a stubby antenna with this kind of like S shape on it. That should always be Colombia. So we know we're there. It's mountainous. We got a yellow plate, so that all fits. And when you see the mountains like this, should just be somewhere in that central valley. And I don't know if there's anything else to say here. We can probably just click near the middle here. It's probably somewhere near Bogota or Medellin. Um,
yeah. Region guessing's hard.
yeah.
Colo, I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So, yeah, I don't see anything here. I kind of a lone hill there. I don't know. Maybe I'll go like north of Bogota here. I don't really know when it comes to it though. Yeah, just west of it instead. Not too bad though. Okay, next one here, and we definitely have some clues here. We have no Google car, which is not particularly common for this country. We appear to be driving the left-hand side of the road. These guys are coming towards us on the left. Looks like a black number plate there, which is quite useful. We have tiled roofs, which, as I've said before many times, is more common in Java, although I'm not so sure about Java on this one, to be honest. But yeah, we have headscarves as well. Definitely all fits for Indonesia. It just feels a bit poor for Malaysia as well. Like, definitely not particularly wealthy area. Although Malaysia is still, I suppose, possible, apart from the poles, which, have this thin crossbar, and yeah, the kind of uneven setting of the poles is very, very Indonesian, so feeling very good about Indo. Where would you take this? Because I have a few places in mind at the moment.
I mean, I I sort of could see Sumatra here. Just I mean, uneven poles, I think is a lot more common on Sumatra and a few other places.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and there's like oil palms and stuff.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we do have quite a
Uh,
few. That's right.
it's like
So
I don't know. I might. Well, also wait. Could you line up the road a little bit?
that's kind of going in
Okay.
almost directly
Yeah.
east-west, slightly
Yeah.
northern.
A meta I've heard is that Lampung has like a lot more of a grid like formation, like in certain cities. Like they've really, I don't know. I don't know if that's real. I saw it in like some stream like a year ago, but yeah,
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, like some of these
Lampung's
towns have
possible.
quite. Yeah, so I actually agree with Lampung here. I would say we're in Lampung. So generally speaking, tiled roofs in Sumatra are further south, and because we have these oil palms plus tiled roof combination plus the uneven poles and this like orange square thing, I think I've heard that a bunch of these should line up with like more kind of South Sumatra Lampung area. So I'll go for that. And if you also thought of it, then I say we go for it. And it was actually
Yeah,
in Jambi there, but that's not too far away. All things
yeah,
considered, in Indonesia, that's a pretty decent guess. So
makes
can be happy.
sense.
I think the uneven poles, like the ones with like two insulators on one side and one on the other, are more common in South Sumatra, but I could be wrong. I'm not
Okay,
an Indo expert.
me neither.
Um, Here we are in Quebec. So one of the good things that we could say here is for Quebec, minus the French language, you might not have that always. And so if you have this sign with two signposts with the kind of like denotes a road ending, so obviously this road's ending and turning into this one, then this is the province that most uses this sign. Whereas, like, if you guys probably know it, if you've been playing for a bit, the Canadian checkerboard sign, which kind of has this symbol really tiny in the middle, and then it has like a big black and yellow checkerboard all around it. Well, that one should be found in basically all the other provinces instead. So, yeah, that is Quebec. And also the double signpost is significantly Quebec as well. So now if we had more time, just line up the 132 here. But as for me, I'm just going to guess. Kind of reminds me of north of Quebec City, but unless you know where any of the places are, I'll probably just guess somewhere around here.
It's like probably. I mean, there's a lot of hills near the border with Maine and stuff, but I don't know. I'm not good at Canada.
Oh, also, this... Yeah, I mean, it's a bit difficult to see. Can we see another one of those? Because that's quite a Quebec pole. This one here is kind of bent upwards, you can see. It's quite Quebec as well. I think Quebec mostly has that pole more than any other province. So let's just guess here. It was pretty northern indeed, right on the border
Nice.
with New Brunswick there. So yeah, also the rockiness I kind of associate more with like this kind of more northern region, but can get over here as well. So we go 20k is not too bad, and yeah, this one's filmed ahead of time, so we don't not have any anything in the leaderboard yet. Basically, I'm going on holiday, so we're gonna have a bunch of pre-recorded ones now, but we still have Tommy here, and we're gonna be playing some Russia now. So let's see him come into his element, and we have a pretty distinctive first round here, I would say. Oh yeah, I think we can get the state here for sure, or the oblast.
Yeah, I mean, we just have like super hazy, bad road. It's like low tree line, mountains and stuff. Just Magadan Oblast.
Right. So
Generally,
yeah. So in terms of haziness, you get a lot of it east and west of Yakutsk, and they're both hazy coverage. Yeah. But you have the mountains more so on the Magadan side and the flatness more so on the Miani side. So that's pretty much
Yes.
the good thing to remember about that. Also, we got larches here. We got the really thin branches that
Yes.
kind of like reach upwards like that. So that's pretty useful here as well for just determining that you are going to be somewhere in Siberia. Because larches are much more common in East Russia than in West Russia. Okay, yeah, so that mountain there should pretty much confirm Magadan somewhere here. I kind of going like kind of a bit this direction, so just trying to see where I could actually fit. Maybe we're closer to Magadan. How do you feel about that, or is it do you reckon going to be
Yeah,
further
I
out?
mean, we could be. Uh, it's hard to region guess in Magadan. It's just like a lineup road
Right,
simulator, but
right, yeah. So
yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
close to Magadan is reasonable, I'd say.
okay,
But
so just trying to see if we can see anything that lines up decently here. I'll just go for this. This is not quite fitting, but if we were right there, it could be possible. And it was actually off the main road here.
uh,
Um, but it's not a bad start for Russia's standards, so yeah, not bad. Okay, next one here. So we do have the black card long antenna, that's standard Russia. We have quite a lot of Scots pines here. Kind of like evening coverage as well, which is interesting. Which I wonder if you recognize. But apart from that, yeah, I mean, my vibe here. I mean, I know there's the evening coverage around here, but I'm not really sure if this is that. We do have like quite a few like thickly like placed birches here, so I could
yeah,
see it. Apart from that, I would probably just click somewhere over here. But what do you think?
yeah, I see the Far East sunset coverage much more likely. Yeah, the road seems
The
to
road
line
does
up.
fit. The road
So
does fit.
I think the coverage is between like that town Magdadachi and like what's the town? It's like Stivaki or something. I
Yeah,
think it goes a
super.
little bit south of that.
Yeah,
Uh,
we got the perfect road angle here, by the way. So
yeah,
feeling
yeah,
good.
I think you got that
Yeah, nice. So it
intersection
bends over
south.
that
Then
way. That's kind of interesting. It's bending the wrong way there, from what I can tell. Unless I'm just not seeing it correctly. Um,
uh,
so maybe it was. Hmm. So maybe it's this instead. Um, no, this angle definitely fit better, right? So yeah, I don't know. I'll just go for the guess here, but
yeah,
it's a little bit confusing. We'll see. I don't really trust my eyes. Yeah, I wonder what we are actually
nice.
seeing in the distance there. Then interesting. We got the right road though. So yeah, that sunset coverage, cause like basically you got to like think how much coverage is there in each oblast. Like this one's much more likely to show up just for the fact that like there's not much coverage here. So like when a map maker goes and places all locations, they'll probably put more on this road. And so knowing
Yeah,
that sunset stuff, which is quite uncommon on Google coverage, can be useful. Okay. So back with the black car here. This one also, so we got the steering wheel on the right hand side of the road here. That's definitely useful. So definitely with the right hand steering wheel, much more common to be East Russia because West Russia doesn't really import that many Japanese cars like that, or at least they should have the correct side steering wheel because obviously right hand steering wheel should denote left hand drive, but on this occasion it doesn't. And so I was okay with winterish stuff like this. Then now let me think. I know that like one of these cities over here,
yeah,
this one.
Sovietskaya, yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
okay. So that would probably be
Uh,
my first thought here. Maybe also something in Sakhalin is possible. I'm not really sure if there's any winter there. But that would probably be my two thoughts here with the winter coverage. Lots of Asian cars and kind of like Eastern Russian vibes. What do you think?
yeah, my vibe was immediately that Sovietskaya Gavan town.
Hmm.
Uh, just because it's all like depressing, overcast, like really wintry with the
Hmm.
black carp and Far East. Um, Sakhalin. I think I've seen like some towns in like the south that have some winter coverage like this. Uh, I think I just see that town more like more likely.
Yeah. I mean, again,
It
it's
could, it could
in kind
easily
of
be
like a
Sakhalin though.
sparsely populated oblast with low coverage again. Well, but I mean,
Yeah,
Sakhalin's the same. And hey, look, we're getting pretty
yeah,
close to Sakhalin here,
not
so if we,
yeah,
we
not
get this, we're
terrible.
supposed to. We don't have any cabbage here, but yeah, still feeling good about the guess. Let's see. And it was very far away, indeed. North of
Oh wow,
Krasnoyarsk. This is another winter
interesting.
coverage road, the one north of
Yes, it is. Yeah,
Krasnoyarsk.
yeah.
So yeah,
That's
that makes
interesting.
sense.
I've never seen
Um,
that. Huh.
yeah, but like I guess that's probably. I mean, we could open up a new tab here and just see how far the coverage actually extends, because that definitely seems like kind of like Krasnoyarsk is one of these. Yeah, that's about as far north as it goes.
Oh,
This town. Yeah, so
wow.
a little unlucky there potentially, or just a difficult round.
Yeah.
But also that's Krasnoyarsk is about where you see those steering wheels. Like that should be about as far west as you see the steering wheels being the wrong side. Like I feel like by the time you hit Omsk, you definitely wouldn't see it. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Next one here. Short antenna plus dry landscape. Definitely feeling good about South Russia here, without a doubt. This kind of like Volgograd or further south kind of area. Um, and I'm pretty sure it's like now. Do you know which one has the long antenna more? I think it's like Krasnodar,
I'm
Cry or
fairly
something
sure it's
like that.
Krasnodar. It's
Yeah,
like I think it's either Krasnodar or Rostov
yeah, one of the two.
between those. Yeah.
So, yeah, short antenna is very common elsewhere in South Russia, especially in the Generation 3, obviously. We have, like, the standard Russian crossing signs here. It's very flat. We don't see anything. I mean, it is slightly, like, there is some slight elevation here, but in terms of, like, when you think about the Caucasus, this is very flat. Kind of have, like, a bit of a sandy, kind of white soil here as well. Architecture definitely southern as well. Take a look at these, like, kind of white brick houses. Very, very South Russia. So my thought here is probably like, I mean, I don't really know if I could see all the way down Mahachkala, Mahachkala, yeah,
Yeah.
or that far south. I mean, architecture kind of feels that way. My guess would probably be closer, like in this kind of area, maybe all the way up to Volgograd, something like between in this kind of triangle or something like that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'd agree with those thoughts. I think Makachkala would probably have more visible mountains
Yeah,
to the
you'd
like
probably be able to at least
southwest.
see something.
Uh, Another thing with the short antenna, I don't know if you've gone over this, but there's I think the cutoff basically is like anything east of like Kemerovo or something. It's like between Novosibirsk and yeah, like anything east of Kemerovo probably won't have short antenna. So
Right.
you can generally like confidently send west
Yeah, yeah.
usually.
Yep. That's
Um,
that's my
yeah,
understanding of it as well. So it's good to know. There is actually quite like more than you expect of short antenna, but yeah, it should always be in like the
yeah,
western half. So yeah, how do you feel about this guess? Should we just go for that?
yeah. I agree with that.
Okay, let's see it. Okay, we're actually pretty close
Ooh,
there.
nice.
Was in this town here, but basically the next town over, all things considered. There's actually no towns there, so that's pretty good. Yeah, just kind of like southern vibes, probably a bit more southern vibes than Volgograd, but at the same time, like, not too hilly, so yeah.
Yeah, anything east is like a lot drier, I think.
Okay, this one's pretty gettable, I think. So we have like winter coverage. So again, another clue for southern Russia, but this time in Gen 4. So Gen 4 southern winter coverage. It's a bit hilly here, but we don't see any mountains. So when I think about that, I'm thinking Samara, Saratov, Penza area, and I'm also thinking maybe kind of this kind of area here as well. And it could still be deep south, but I prefer this kind of region up here. Also, like though, we should be seeing some green on the trees because it is the start of spring by the time they covered up here. And I think we do see a little bit of green. So, what do you have to add to that, Tommy?
Dark red soil or dark brown soil, sorry, is pretty common south, I'd say.
Mm.
And uh, Penza Oblast is usually going to have a red car with Gen 4 winter,
Okay, true.
which makes it pretty distinct.
Yep.
Uh, so South Russia is just hard. Gen 4 winter is like really difficult to reach and guess within.
Hmm.
Um, I could definitely see Samara. I could see like as far south as near the Caucasus, though. I mean,
Right.
it's kind of a toss up sometimes.
No, I can see that too. I can see that too. But you don't reckon like any of the greenery we see here would indicate more the spring? Or I mean, you definitely do see it all the way south as well. That's not to say you
Yes,
don't.
I mean, to be fair, some of that could be just like evergreens.
Yeah, true.
Uh, so I mean, it's too hard to see because it's far away. But um, yeah, I mean, your guess is reasonable. Other guesses would also be reasonable. Uh,
What about like this kind of
so
region here? We see more of a hill there. I do kind of like the South stuff, especially. Well, we could just test out the kind of Dark Zone here. I mean, we're all learning. Russia's difficult. Let's just see if that actually checks out. But I think if I'm going solo, I'm going up here. But yeah, as
Yeah.
Tommy said, it's difficult rounds.
Yeah,
So let's
totally
see.
fair.
And okay, well, it's
Yeah.
just in Saransk. But that's
Saransk.
okay. That's okay. So we end up with 14k, which is pretty good. We basically nailed it 3 times, and then 2 more difficult rounds there. So let us know how you did in the comments, and thanks to Tommy for coming on. Russia's a big learning experience, but it is tackleable. As you can see, we actually kind of knew the coverage in this one for sure, and this one we knew the coverage, and the other 2, like we definitely knew about, but just missed out.
Super baited.
Yeah, got baited. But that could have been, actually, in all honesty, that could have been a high score seed. So, yeah,
Definitely.
kind of interesting. All right, but yep, thanks for coming on, Tommy, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of Geoguessr Explained. Yeah, all pre-recorded from here on in for a bit, but yeah, see you guys later. Bye bye.